Cosi Talks live a little bit earlier than our normal broadcast time. It is 11 a.m. Eastern time. No, you did not read incorrectly. So all the promo emails I've been sending, a lot of y'all been going, did you make a mistake? Nope, no mistake. Today's a special show because I have an extra special guest with me here today.
Thank you, Cosi. Hey, everybody. Love all the insight and participation everybody gives to Cosi Talks.
Yep. So guys, we are doing a really special show today. I've actually never done this topic before. So it's going to be really cool to kind of get your feedback and thoughts on this. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to jump on board. So we're going to be talking about weight management after amputation, and we're going to be touching upon nutrition and weight management aspect.
Very important.
Yes.
For anyone. Think about losing a particular limb, especially a lower limb that you use to support your weight with. The more weight you're carrying, the more pressure is going to be put on that limb and on that system, that prosthetic leg. So it's really, really important that we talk about managing healthy weight limits and keeping healthy weight limits.
Absolutely. And guys, I see a few of you popping on board. Thank you for jumping in. Give me a shout out. Don't be shy. We got Stephen coming in from New Jersey, David coming in, watching on the YouTube channel. We got Laura, she can hear us. Yay. I got the audio right. That's a highlight right there. I got audio right on the first try.
Very cool.
We got Brian Bishop. Dude, did you get your double espresso? Because as you can tell, I've had mine. We got Denise. That's my Tar Heel girl from North Carolina listening in, but quiet since I'm at work today. Hey guys, I appreciate you guys joining in. I know it's in the middle of the workday. So first of all, dude, I really need to thank a lot of people today.
Yeah.
So obviously, Reggie, thank you. I'll never be able to stop thanking this man because he definitely set the Cosi Talk show on a path of forming wonderful relationships. With a little bit, but, and I also do want to thank College Park Industries. They've been support from day one, and it's going on 6 years now that I've been broadcasting this show, and they have been my continuous sponsor. Thank you, Eric and Laura and the team behind the scenes. And then finally, Lululemon. As you all have noticed, I am not in my home studio, and I'm not in my garage, which is usually where Reggie and I are broadcasting from. So very grateful to Lululemon for their continued support. I am in the beautiful Hyde Park Tampa location. Reggie and I are decked out. And those of you who are interested, I put the links in the post above as to what he and I are wearing and where you can find them. Christmas gifts, treat to yourself. So Brian says, yep, he got his espresso. Casey, you're here. Good. You got the time change proper. We got Scott and we got Anita, and everybody's saying,
Hey, what's up?
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started because we got a nice crew. So for those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. My name is Cosi Belloso. I'm a physical therapist, amputee specialist, and we are in Tampa, Florida. And with me today, I have Reggie Showers,
Hey, everybody.
man extraordinaire. He's like Renaissance man right here sitting next to me. And he is coming here courtesy of College Park Industries. So I'm going to introduce yourself.
To support our community. You know, I just want to say, you got to think about us amputees when we do use a prosthetic component, you know, be it a foot or a clamp or a suspension system or whatever. Think about that company that makes that product and how they give it back to our community. And I have to say that College Park does an amazing job of giving back to the amputee community and has done an amazing job for so many years.
So you got a couple of fans there coming in. What's up, Pastor David? I know it's a party now. So guys, today's topic, like I said, I've never specifically covered just this topic on the show. And we're going to be talking about weight management after amputation. Now, I do have to say this and be super clear and upfront. I am a physical therapist. I am licensed in the state of Florida. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor, right? So what I'm talking to you about weight management and nutrition is based on my experiences of 23 years of practice as a physical therapist and giving you a general overview, okay? Reggie's going to be sharing some of his knowledge with us, and his knowledge is based on his personal experiences as 40 plus years.
45 now.
45 years as a bilateral below the knee amputee. So guys, this is meant to be just general information. What I'm really hoping today, guys, is to hopefully light a fire under some of you. A lot of the information we're going to be giving here today, you've probably already heard it in some way, shape, or form. But sometimes I think we just need to hear it to kind of get motivated to get out there and doing it. Those of you who are looking to have a weight loss program, highly recommend that you go and talk to your doctor, especially many of you who have other medical conditions. Okay, there's a lot involved and a lot more that we've learned in the past 30 years, just even in my own lifetime with nutrition. All right, so let's get started. Oh, we got Jody. Oh, Jody is coming live from Las Vegas, man. I got to give out shout out to Jody. In the Discover Your Possible event in Virginia I spoke at 2 weeks ago, she flew out from Las Vegas, and it was such a joy finally getting to meet you, Jody. So sending a lot of
Right for the F1 race out here, Jody.
Oh, there's our racer right here. So,
Hamilton, 44.
all right. So guys, before we get started, you know I love my giveaways and twice on Sundays. So my girl Laura is going to be posting a link for an email sign up. Some of you have already been doing this, okay? She's going to post a link. Sign up for the College Park emails. Guys, this is how we show our gratitude to the sponsors that help me produce this show. Even if you've already signed up for the emails, sign up again, because we've got a really nice raffle giveaway today. And part of what's going to be in that raffle giveaway is a Lululemon water flask. Okay, go ahead and sign up. Laura's going to post that link shortly. Let's see. Yeah, Casey's saying it's a medical team and patient team effort, but I'm not going to get ahead of Cosi and Reggie. I love it, Casey. All right, so let's just do some really basic statistics, right? And I'm not usually one to throw numbers around in statistics, but I think we need to see this. There was an article I found in the military, let me make sure I get the title right, Military Medicine International Journal, right? And they did a great study on their amputees. And in this particular study, right, they looked at amputees who were young service members, active service members. So men and women who were in their 20s and 30s. And then they looked at men and women who were in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? So the men and women in their 20s and 30s, they lost their limb due to service related. So either an IED, a trauma accident, and then those in the older population had lost their limb due to vascular issues. Here's what they found about weight. In the younger population, they gained an average of 10 kilograms after amputation, right? And then the older ones, let's see the number here, they gained at least 10% of their body weight within the first 2 years of amputation. So let's just put some easy numbers on that. I weigh $130, a good day, right? So that would mean an extra 13 pounds, right? On your average male who's about between 180 to 200 pounds. Let's just put that easy number. That's anywhere from 18 to 20 pounds extra.
It's a significant increase.
That's a lot of weight. And if you want to think about it even further, think about carrying 20 extra pounds. That's 4 bags of sugar.
Just sitting here thinking about carrying sugar around. That's a lot.
That's a lot of weight.
That your body has to now carry extra.
Okay. Laura posted that link, guys. Go ahead and sign up for that link, right? So guys, think about that. What are the implications of carrying all that extra weight? We're going to get into that in a minute. All right. So here's another thing I kind of wanted to throw at you from this study. It showed that the younger folks had an easier time returning to their baseline weight, and that the older folks did not. Now there's some like obvious stuff. Like what would make you think that the younger folks had an easier time?
Just basic activities, you know. Be all night, wake up and go to work the next morning. As you age, things change.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit more sedentary. Your friends are a little bit more sedentary, which kind of groups you into, you know what, I'm going to sit over here as well with my friends or my age group. Young people are out playing basketball and sports and hiking and all that kind of stuff. So I think that would attribute to them being able to lose more weight than us old people.
And then the other side of it is, if you think about it, the person who lost their limb during service in theater, right, due to an IED, their lifestyle prior was probably a lot more active, like Reggie mentioned, and health-wise, they were probably in better health condition. They didn't have other health issues combined. Versus our older folks, right, in the 50s and 60s and 70-year age range, the reason why they lost their limb was due to health issues, which means their lifestyle before that was impacting this. And I know for a lot of you, this is probably like, well, Cosi, yeah, we get that. But sometimes we need to hear that, because where I'm going with this is a lot of this can be modified by you, right? A lot of this is related to lifestyle and making some of these lifestyle choices. Okay. And guys, I get it. This is not an easy topic to talk about. This is not an easy topic to hear about. In my own personal cancer journey, I had to hear from my own clinicians about my nutrition and weight management and making sure I was staying healthy through the cancer treatments. And it was a little tough to swallow sometimes. We have to have these tough conversations, right? All right. So we got Linda coming on board. We got Felicia. Audio going in and out at times. Thank you for letting us know, Felicia. We got Matthew, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Harsh, good to see you, man. He's giving you a shout out. Linda is asking, is that with a prosthesis? That's actually a very good question, Linda. They did not specify that in the study, if they included the weight changes with the prosthesis. But if you think about it, right, 10 kilograms times 2.2, so it's about 22 pounds extra. So that more than accounts for the weight of the prosthetic, right? So you can see that there was extra weight gain, even if they were weighed with their prosthetic device, which weighs less than an anatomical leg. If you think about it, it's significant weight gain that's happening. Okay. One more statistic, and then we're going to move on to the more fun stuff. And this is from the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation. This is a very PT-centered journal. So I go for a lot of my documents, for a lot of my research and literature review. It's saying that folks with below the knee and above the knee, and I'm reading from here to make sure I get this right, 40% will go on to gain at least 10% of their body. Okay. And it will double their risk of becoming obese. That 10% is a pretty consistent number across the. Okay. So let's just do a quick Cosi poll. I haven't done one of those yet today. How many of you, hey, Tom, how many of you experienced weight gain after your amputation? Comment section. Comment section. So Mark is there, Mark S. Right? So I want to hear some comments in there for those of you who gained weight. And if you feel comfortable letting us know how much weight you gained. Yeah, Reggie's like me. Right? Brian says yes. Linda says yes. Scott said yes. Matthew says me. Right? Jody, Casey, Pastor David, Anita. Yeah. Right? Okay. So let's move on. So why do we care about gaining weight? Right? I'm gonna let you take this one over for a minute.
Well, personally, on my personal journey, I noticed that my mobility was compromised. I was going to say complicated, which it is complicated at times, but it was compromised, and much more so than I was comfortable with accepting. I walking to the store, which is say 2 miles from the house, was easy at one time. But then as I started to gain weight, I noticed that walking to the store and carrying those same groceries back became a little bit more of a chore. So I started to see the red flags of, this extra weight gain is really starting to be detrimental to my overall daily routine of the mobility level that I like to maintain. So we really got to start focusing in on our eating habits, exercise, and all that kind of stuff, and how it can negatively play a part in, us gaining weight and compromising our mobility.
No.
I think that happens to all of us, especially after COVID. The world shut down basically after COVID. I know I gained weight after COVID. I gained weight while I was caring for my mom. And, we'll talk about that towards the end of the show with my personal journey. But it's made a significant difference in the quality of my life. I'm really concerned about it, so I have to address it.
Yes. So guys, thank you for sending in your input. So Brian is saying 17 pounds. Mark says small amount. Felicia says me. Rob says before the prosthesis, but lost it back after getting the leg. Patricia says yes. Tommy, absolutely. Scott said around 50 pounds while in rehab for a year. Linda with 18. Jody is up and down. Linda, 12 pounds. Michael, you can see my foot. Okay, glad you can see your foot.
I get that.
All right. Yeah. It's a Casey says lost 10 pounds, went up by 50, and then lost another 30, right? And then Paul, there's my physical therapy mentor right there. He says weight gain, common problem for everyone as we age. For folks with amputations,
True.
Not physically active in the first place, even greater risk for weight gain. And we're going to be getting into that right now. So guys, just to kind of add on a little bit to what Reggie said, some of the more clinical side of the complications of weight gain is contributing to osteoarthritis, cardiovascular disease, back pain, joint pain, right? Poor health related quality of life. And then body image, right? It's very tied into what we think of ourselves, right?
Experienced all of that.
Let's just say it out loud. Yeah. Depression and weight gain. I found just as many studies that said depression causes weight gain and weight gain causes depression. So they're just kind of like, peanut butter and jelly right there, right? And then for the amputee implications, you know what Reggie just said, energy expenditure. Guys, again, go pick up that 5-pound sack of flour or sugar you have sitting in your pantry and walk around with that all day, right? As it is, as amputees, you're expending percentages more of energy. Like Reggie as a bilateral below the knee amputee is expending at least 100% more energy than I am to walk. So let's just throw an extra 5 to 10 pounds on him, right? That much more energy. Okay. Skin management.
So skin breakdown and residual limb skin breakdown is another concern. Now, you're carrying 20 extra pounds and your residual limb is now faced with 20 extra pounds of force weight inside that socket. So you may have been cast at, let's say, a specific weight, and now your socket or your circumference of your residual limb may be a little larger. You're feeling pressures inside that socket on certain parts of your residual limb that you didn't feel pressure on prior to gaining weight. So now you got these little hot spots that you power through, and then they become sensitive, and then you have skin breakdown. Now you got an open wound, you have an ulcer that you got to deal with. But you got to get up and get your kids off to school in the morning. You got to get up and take yourself to work so you can provide a living for your family, all while managing this painful lesion, this painful ulcer on your residual limb because of the extra weight that you've been carrying. So it's reality.
And as it is, I hear so much from you, my viewers, and from my patients, sock management and residual limb volume is already a big old pain in the bum as it is. So then add weight gain, weight fluctuations, right? And I'm not just talking about the residual limb fluctuations. I'm talking about on top of that weight fluctuations. And Matthew just said it, weight gain may also affect the fit of your prosthetic.
That's right.
Boom. Right? And guys, hopefully what we're talking about today, I hope this is not the first time you're hearing about this. At some point in your life as an amputee, I hope that you have heard this information in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And I hope this is just, again, kind of motivating you and just kind of relighting some of those light bulb moments, right? So let's talk about, we got a giveaway. Woohoo. Okay. Laura is going to put up a giveaway for the eval program, the foot program. So Laura is going to put a link there. Can you tell us a little bit about the eval foot program?
So value foot allows you, the amputee, to try before you buy any of our prosthetic feet. All you have to do is have your prosthetist go to our website, college-park.com, and you can choose the prosthetic foot that you want to try. So I guess you would go to our website.
Yep.
And do some reading. Yeah, and do some reading yourself. Talk to other amputees like myself. I'm always available to answer questions, or other amputees that do use College Park products. See a particular foot that you may want to try. Your prosthetist would then contact our customer service department and request that specific foot for you. Now, that specific prosthetic foot will then be built to your specifications. So this is not something that, we have all these prosthetic feet sitting on our shelf is waiting to be shipped out. No, our prosthetic feet are built specifically for each individual patient. So this is part of our program. You can try it for 30 days. If you like it, it's yours. If you don't like it, you send it back, and no questions asked. So it's a really great product. We're really proud of the customer service relationship that we have, not only with practitioners, but also with our end users. Something that we really take pride in.
And guys, I'm going to go ahead and switch up our mics because it sounds like they're having some breakups there with Reggie. So no, it's not your fault. Okay. No, but that's okay. Now we got, see, this is why I bring plan A, plan B, and plan C. You guys, can you just comment and make sure that you can hear me on this microphone?
Check
here, Reggie.
Microphone check. Soleus, baby. That's right. Soleus, it's one of my favorite feet.
It's like, look at you doing tech work, right? Even after 6 years, I finally figured a few things out here, guys. Sounds good? Okay, awesome. So we can share the mic. All right, guys. So for those of you, that sounds good too. So for those of you who are on YouTube, I went ahead and posted the link for the rebuild eval program, the eval foot trial. And guys, this is something that whenever you've heard me do shows on prosthetic feet, how to choose prosthetic feet, the number one thing I say is you need to try before you buy, right? This is the foot you're going to be waking up to every morning. So you want to make sure you like it. So this is a really wonderful feature.
You can be able to have the opportunity to make a decision about what prosthetic components that you want with your prosthesis. You can work in conjunction with your prosthetist. Back in the day, when I first became an amputee, we're talking late 70s, you know, number one, there was only one basic prosthetic foot, and that was a Sag foot. And it was basically given to you whether you wanted it or not. You know, it's like your prosthetist said, here's your leg, and you made the best out of what he or she gave you. Now, you know, there's so many different options. You know, if you go on College Park's website, we have 22 different prosthetic feet. 22 different prosthetic feet. Now, why do we have 22 different prosthetic feet? Because individuals are so dynamic. We do all types of things. And it's a beautiful thing that amputees are now, there's a technology that allows us to do all different types of things. When you lose an appendage, when you lose a leg or foot, or God's perfection, it's really hard for man, quote unquote, to duplicate that perfection with one product. You gotta have multiple products. Some feet are good for running, some feet are good for climbing, some feet have ankle articulation that's good for, you know, your gait, dancing or whatever. So you gotta have different stuff for different activity levels.
Okay, so guys, those of you who are clicking on the eval program for College Park that we both posted, I want you to tell me what color pants is the patient model wearing. It's a beautiful patient model. So click on that, right click, don't click out of the show, and tell me what color pants the patient model is wearing. And we've got a really nice College Park swag bag coming. And then Lululemon has generously decided to put in one of their water flasks, which let me tell you guys, this is the only water flask that doesn't leak. It doesn't leak. And I got 4 kids banging these things around, and they are very, very sturdy. So guys, start looking, and we are going to pick a winner from the folks who answer in the comments section. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about healthy weight. How do you know if you're at a healthy weight? Okay, and again, this is one of those, like, sometimes it's a duh question, right? Because we can all tell, like, we look at someone, we're like, all right, they're looking pretty healthy. But for those of you who are just like, you know, I really don't know what would be considered a healthy weight for my height, for my build, for my sex, like, you know, what is considered. So usually I point people towards the CDC website, right? And you just put in calculating healthy weight, and you can put in male or female, you can put in your height, and you can put in your weight, and it'll spit out an answer of a range. So that's a good place to start. Okay, another way is to measure your BMI, your body mass index. So that's measuring the percentage of body fat that you have. Now, the BMI gets a lot of flack, and I'm probably going to get some people here saying it's not accurate. It's not accurate. It's a good starting point, guys. Okay, it's a good starting point. And for me, a lot of these measurement tools that we have for measuring body fat, it's more to indicate where your progress is going. Okay, so tall drink of water like Reggie, he's going to have a very high BMI because he's got muscle and he's very tall. It doesn't necessarily mean he's obese. So we know Reggie is not obese, right? But it might show that he has a high BMI. But if Reggie goes on a fitness program, if he goes on a nutrition weight loss program, he can use that to kind of track his progress. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Okay. So a couple of other measures of measuring body fat. Calipers, right? Caliper testing, especially those of you who are from the 80s and 90s, right? That was kind of the gold standard, and it's still a very good measurement. Okay, and the calipers is that they take some calipers and they basically pinch your body fat in different parts of your body to indicate what's going on. And it's great because it does kind of help differentiate between people who are very muscular, they might weigh a lot because they have a lot of muscle, right? Versus body fat. Another tool that I really love now, it's a kind of a newer tool that's out there. It's called an in-body scan. And this is one that I like to use maybe once or twice a year. You can find these at med spas. You pay $40 and they do a head to toe scan, and it gives you a lot of information. And what I really love is it tells you the distribution of your body fat, even differences between right and left, which if you think about it, If you have more muscle on the right side of your body, right, it probably indicates that you're using the right side a lot more than your left. So as an amputee, that information could be helpful, right?
Interesting.
Right? Isn't that kind of cool? When I saw that scan, I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? The other thing, the in-body scan, it tells you about visceral fat, right? So the fat in the organs, which is a huge indicator of cardiac risk, right? More visceral fat, higher cardiac risk, right? Things to think about. Where do you get BMI tested? Actually, you can go online and just type in BMI calculator. All you have to do is put in your height and your weight. And again, it gives you a measurement there. Okay.
I got a BMI testing at a gym, believe it or not. I joined a gym and there's there are trainers there, and as an incentive, I guess, to join, they give you, assessments, body assessments, and there was a BMI assessment. So that was pretty helpful.
Yeah. And like Paul mentioned, the caliper test, guys, it's a simple test. And a lot of the gyms will do the caliper testing. Someone who's doing it properly, you can get a pretty accurate measurement right there. Tape measurements, right? Just a good old fashioned measuring tape, right? Measure the chest, the waist, the hips, one thigh, and a biceps. And again, this is just a really good way to track progress, right? And starting there, how your clothes fit. Okay.
Huge indicator.
This is a huge indicator, right? A lot of people, they don't want to step on a scale. They don't want to weigh themselves on a regular basis. They don't want to use the tape measurements. But a lot of patients will come in and tell me, these pants are fitting a lot tighter than they were a couple months before my amputation. Right. And then finally, the scale. And I mentioned this because I feel like we have vilified the scale. Right. I think in recent decades, the scale has become public enemy number one. It's not. I think the reason why a lot of people don't like it is because it's presenting them with some truths, right? So I think the scale can be used as a good tool to help measure weight, right? And we all know that weight, just a number of weight on the scale, does not give us the full picture. It's not telling us how much muscle we have, how much water we're retaining, how much body fat, but it's a good start indicator. Yes.
You know something interesting about the scale, if I could say real quick. I routinely try out new College Park products, and I know my weight. I got on the scale or whatever, and say it was indicating 195 pounds. I put on a brand new pair of College Park feet, and my weight went up by like 2 pounds, just because the feet were a little bit heavier compared to the lighter weight feet that I was using. And these feet had different features, so it was different mass, and they were a little bit heavier, but it kind of threw me off for a second. Right? Wait a minute, where did I get all this weight from? But they got the feet, I just totally forgot about it. So you always want to take into consideration, what prosthetic devices you're wearing and how they are contributing to your weight or your BMI as overall.
Yep. And we got Ed, he's my physical therapist buddy from Johns Hopkins, and he's saying, so just take your weight every morning after going to the bathroom while wearing as little as possible. Just subtract the weight of the prosthesis, but daily reminder of, okay, maybe I should watch what I eat today. Okay. And guys, bottom line, my general, again, this is a very general recommendation. You need to find your particular recommendation with your doctor. Find what measurement tool you will stick with best. Okay. For me, it's the scale, getting 2 in-body scans per year just to track my progress. And it's exactly that after Ed. First thing in the morning, I weigh myself the exact same time every day. And it's just to let me know, all right, no dessert tonight, or yeah, we're doing okay. We're going to enjoy the dessert tonight. And just once you find that maintenance cycle and find what works for you. Okay, so here's the real kicker. The differences between men and women, right? Mars and Venus. What's going on here, right? Why is it that my husband, he just wants to lose weight? All he has to do is just not drink soda for a week and he loses 20 pounds, right? Is this ringing anything with my ladies out there? Okay, by the way, Laura is going to post the name of our winner for the first giveaway. So she's going to post that in the comments section. So let's talk about some of the reasons why men will gain weight, right? Metabolism slows down. As we get older, metabolism slows down. Natural aging process, right? Linda's like, oh yeah. Come on, ladies, chime in. Back me up here. Back me up, right? Salt intake.
I had a lot of salt this morning, unfortunately, when I ordered breakfast, and I was like, wow, this is really salty. Now I'm feeling like,
yeah, a little on the puppy side there.
Yep.
Or eating habits, which kind of ties in with the salt intake. Less exercise and activity level, which is what I started off talking about, right? Insulin resistance. And this is one of those new ones that, as I've kind of learned, I love reading about nutrition, even though that's not my profession. I just love reading about nutrition and diet habits. Insulin resistance, right? So if you are a pre-diabetic or diabetic, your pancreas is not producing enough insulin to break the sugar down in your blood to make it used for energy, right? If you are insulin resistant, you're producing enough insulin, but your body's not utilizing the insulin. So your glucose levels are going to be elevated, and this contributes to weight gain, right? And this is one of those kind of hidden ahas that many people are not aware of. We are becoming more aware of this in the medical community, and we are starting to screen more for this. Not only just screening for risk for diabetes and pre-diabetes, but insulin resistance, right? All right, congratulations to Rob Samuels, who are the first winner for our giveaway. So Rob, hang on a second, let me just type this in before I forget. Rob, there is my email. I need you to email me your address so that we can send you your swag bag, and let me know if you want a black or a white Lululemon water flask. All right, let's just see what some of these comments are coming in. Anita says, I try to be mindful of my salt and sodium intake. David says, as a kidney transplant recipient, I weigh every morning and keep a record, and it helps me maintain my weight. Bravo. Linda's a type 1 diabetic. Okay.
So Anita, yeah. So Anita, if I could compliment as well. I didn't manage my salt intake this morning. I went to a restaurant and I ordered a simple breakfast sandwich, and it was loaded with sodium. I did not know that. So after I got halfway through it, I was like, man, this is really salty. I started to feel a little weird. So that was a situation where it was out of my control, but I should have been mindful before going into the restaurant that I need to like really watch my sodium intake. When I was flying to Thailand at the time, I actually requested my meals be lower sodium on the airplane prior to, through my reservations, I want to give special remarks, low sodium meals, because I know that I have, high blood pressure issues, and I want to watch my sodium intake. So that's something that we can control, especially when we're preparing our own meals at home, is our sodium intake, how much salt we're putting in our food. When we go out to restaurants, you need to be mindful and be diligent about your sodium intake, and when somebody else is preparing your food. Holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, and all that kind of stuff. Everybody is like, they're talking and they're spreading that salt. You need to watch what you're eating.
Right. Okay. Possible gain weight is endocrine disorder. It is not as common. So endocrine disorder, I'm talking about things like problems with the thyroid. And while we do not see this as much in men compared to women, it is present. And in many cases, I think it's misdiagnosed in men because we're not expecting to find it, right? So again, guys, when you are going to talk to your doctor about weight management program, and we're going to talk about this a little later in the show, where to begin, okay? And a lot of it is finding the root cause for the weight. We're going to get back to that. So let's talk about women, right? Why do women gain weight? For me, I feel like sometimes I just look at the chocolate bar and there it goes, right? Okay. Guys, it's all the same reasons that men will gain weight: slower metabolism, salt intake with poor eating habits, less exercise and activity level, insulin resistance, metabolic disorders such as thyroid. But here's one extra thing that women have that will really affect their weight, and that's the hormones, right? So we're not going to go to the birds and bees talk, but everybody has learned that in both men and women, we have many different types of hormones, but sex hormones are estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Men and women have all three of those hormones, but the proportions are different. Obviously, someone like Reggie is going to have way more testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. And a woman is going to have a lot more estrogen and progesterone, and a little bit of testosterone, right? Here's the big difference between men and women with the hormones. Men, once they reach maturity, they're pretty much the same from a hormonal standpoint until the day they die. Right? They are the same when they mature until the day they die. And that's why men can potentially father children until they pass away. Women, not so much, right? We change constantly. Women will change morning until evening. Right? And there's lots of memes and jokes out about that. I need to go into that. But that's the whole point, is a woman's body is constantly changing. If she has babies, if she doesn't have babies, as she starts to age. And what we're learning more and more is that these hormones and the effect on hormones is not just the women who have undergone the change in menopause. We're seeing these changes and these affectations as early women in their 30s, young women. Right. And this is something that I'm really kind of getting behind. Again, not a doctor, not an endocrinologist, not an OBGYN, but I'm recognizing in many of my female viewers and female patients that there are a lot of these underlying hormonal issues that need to be addressed. Right. So Linda says slow metabolism and menopause. But now what we're starting to see again, it's not just the women in menopause, it's the women in premenopause, perimenopause, and early 30s. Right. So Matthew has a great question. He says, is it better to weigh weekly or daily? And this is a very popular controversial question. What is your opinion on this?
Hoping to get your response because I have questions about that. Daily, I like to weigh weekly if I'm working out, so I can see some significant difference. May not be able to see a significant difference daily, but what's your take on that?
So for me, I think it just depends on what stage you are in. And again, this is where, Rob, thank you for sending me that information. This is where you need to work with your dietitian and your doctor. Me personally, this is just my plan. When I am training for a race and I need to drop maybe 1 or 2 pounds just for race purposes, then I will weigh myself weekly. Why? Because I'm not going to see the 1 or 2 pound change there. If I'm just on maintenance mode, I do weigh myself every morning. And it's just a habit I've had for several years. And it keeps me in check in a healthy way. Now, there are some women that weighing themselves daily is not a good thing. Okay. And it leads to disordered eating, it leads to eating disorders in men and women. Okay. So this depends a lot upon what are your goals, who you are as a person, because there are some people that they do not do well weighing themselves daily, which you just mentioned, right? And making sure that you're doing it in a healthy way, keeping that healthy relationship with tracking weight, because that can easily go sideways and become obsessive. So again, this is something where I really recommend talk to the registered dietitian, talk to your doctor on how you do this, and not just when you are in the process of perhaps losing weight, but your maintenance. For me, the maintenance is just as important as the weight loss side of things. Okay, so Richard says cancer background problems with hormone therapy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I know I have other ladies out there who have had breast cancer like me. Hormones are going crazy because these are hormone related cancers. Hey, Benny, glad you could make it, man. That's coming in Texas.
So viewers, do you feel that it's more effective to weigh yourself with your prosthesis on or without your prosthesis? And that's something that a long time ago, I used to wear some pretty heavy prostheses back in the early days because they were just made of so much, wood and fiberglass and all that kind of stuff, and padding and all this other stuff to make the anatomical shape consistent with, a regular leg. But I was like, okay, should I be weighing myself without these prostheses to judge, if I know I'm going to be lighter without my legs because, my anatomical leg, my biological legs are missing. But should I consistently weigh myself without them or put these heavy legs on? But what do you people think? I mean, that would be interesting to get some feedback from some of your viewers about that.
And that's a question I get a lot is, do I weigh myself with or without the prosthesis? So the general, and again, I'll say my opinion after you guys post yours because I want to hear your opinions first. So Anita says, I like to weigh without, but I can't safely stand on my one leg. And that's kind of where some of my answer goes is number one, if you can safely do it, right? If you can put a walker over your scale and get safely onto the scale with your one leg, then I think that's great because you're not having to fuss around with the prosthetic weight. But if you cannot do this safely and you're jiggling around, first of all, I don't should fall, but then the jiggling around part is also going to throw the weight off. So it might mean having to weigh your prosthetic devices, knowing what they weigh, including socks and liner, right? And then just subtract that weight. David says I'm a bilateral BK, so I weigh with my legs and subtract the leg weight, which is 3.5 kilos. Right? There we go.
Yep.
So let's talk about, okay, now here comes the big old $1 million question. Weight. You can see I've got like a whole page of notes right here from that part right there. Scott says weighing with, but subtract 16 pounds for the prosthetic. Felicia says I weigh without because the number is too depressing. And again, guys, this is something you got to take that into. Totally get that. Ben very, he says I'm close to my original weight with my prosthesis on as a bilateral BK, right? So guys, keep putting your comments in there because I do want to read your comments. So keep commenting. So let's talk about the $1 million question. How do you lose weight? And holy cow, that is really hard just to put into in the span of one talk show episode. So I'm going to do the best that I can with this. When it comes to successful weight loss, okay, the majority of studies that you will find will say it's a two-pronged approach: nutrition and exercise. Right? The old adage of you can't outrun your spoon. Right? And that's what I learned when I started becoming a runner. I thought, oh boy, I'm running, therefore I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. Yeah, not so much. Okay. You can't outrun your spoon. The nutrition and the exercise have to work together. Now, how much of one or the other? That's where all these studies go kablooey, and you find so many differing opinions. And again, the more I read, the more I realize just how individual and unique each plan is to each person and their needs. Yes? Do you have a preference between managing your nutrition or managing your exercise?
For me personally, I would say managing my exercise. I like to eat, and more in recent years, I find food is a comfort. Psychologically, it's more of a comfort. So my exercise, if I can eat what I want and then compensate by burning some of that off with exercise, I'd rather manage my exercise. And I'm going to share a little exercise story with you when the time's
Can we
ready.
get to that?
Yeah.
All right. So guys, I want to hear from you. And I was having this conversation with my mom the other day. My mom and I are very different. Me, I will go run 10 miles just so I can eat that extra donut.
Exactly.
And my mom is just like, no, thank you. I will sacrifice the donut so I don't have to work out that part. So guys, I want to hear from you. Hey, Beth, what do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to manage your nutrition, or do you prefer to increase the exercise component? Write that in there. All right.
So really quick, in 2015, I got a chance to go to Africa and be a part of National Geographic TV show called Migrations, where we had to walk across Africa, walk across the Serengeti. Actually, it was a 200-mile journey, and we were just 20 randomly picked people from different walks of life. I was the only amputee, but in 21 days, I lost 25 pounds. 21 days, I lost 25 pounds in body weight. We were taking in, I would say, less than 200 calories a day. And we were walking 5 to 7 miles a day in some really rugged terrain. So the weight just burned off my body. And the interesting thing was, from a psychological standpoint, even though I was only taking in 200 calories per day at the most, I wasn't hungry after the first couple of days. You want to know why? Because there was no food. So my brain, my body was like, okay, there is no food. So why waste energy worrying about it? See, here in the States or wherever you may live, we have so many choices and there's so much resource. So when we have those choices, we'll crave those choices when we're hungry. But if you're hungry and you have no food, your body says, okay, well, or your mind will say, why waste the energy that I need to get through my day or to maybe find food on worrying about it? So you're not hungry. It's amazing how that works.
It is interesting. And part of what we're learning is the problems with thyroid. Let's go back to the thyroid, right? So with thyroid, what we have learned is the reason why sometimes people go into hypothyroidism, meaning their thyroid slows down, the metabolism slows down, is because the body is going into hibernation mode. So people who do a lot of dieting, they kind of put their body into that survival mode. So the thyroid says, you know what, we got to slow this metabolism down because we don't have enough nutrition. And that's where you sometimes see that cycle of people, especially women, who will say, I'm not eating anything, but I'm gaining weight. And what you just said kind of ties into that. Our bodies will respond to keep us moving forward, to keep us alive. And sometimes that can be detrimental, right? So too much of a good thing. All right, let's get some of these comments in because I see some of these beautiful comments. Let's see. Scott says he's bad at both nutrition and exercise. And then, yeah, I hear you. Anita says, personally, I feel like I need to manage my foods. I'm limited in the type and duration of exercise I can do. Thank you for saying that, Anita, because that again is something that I talk to my patients about and saying, okay, if you're limited in your exercise, then we need to tighten up a little bit on the nutritional side of things, right? And you need to take this into account and acknowledging it. Guys, it's okay that you can't go out there and run 5 miles, right? There are other ways to exercise and you can still manage your diet, right? Brian says, my nutrition is my most important factor. My mobility can change, as will my exercise. Rhonda prefers to eat less. Paul says, weight loss and exercise both are a matter of desire and self-discipline. How do you prioritize in your life? We're going to give you something to think about that at the end of the show. David says, managing my nutrition is a constant task for me. Ed says, suggest nutrition, aerobic exercise, weight loss, increased metabolism, and anti-aerobic exercise to tone the muscle. There's the PT right there. My 2 PTs chiming in, and I love it. Anita says, I would like to find more options for low impact exercise. I recently started Pilates classes, but my movement is limited there as well. Okay, so we're going to keep moving. I love these comments, guys. Keep them coming. So as far as how to lose the weight, right? We have the basic formula that we've all heard. Calories in have to be less than calories out. That's the simple formula. Does it always work for people? No. And it's a lot due to some of these metabolic disorders. If you have thyroid dysfunction, you could be eating 200 calories a day and still gain weight. Okay. If you have no metabolic disorders, like I don't believe Reggie does, obviously he went on that track, he decreased his calorie and he lost weight. Okay. So in terms of calories in versus calories out, that's a starting point, but that doesn't necessarily reflect what's going to work for you in terms of weight loss. Okay. What we are seeing is in general, in the absence of metabolic disorders, there's no problems with metabolic disorders. The best plan for weight loss is to do a 10% caloric deficit, meaning cut your calories by 10% a day, or put yourself on a program that puts you at a 1 to 2 pound weight loss per week. Okay. And again, a lot of studies showing that this is the way to do successful weight loss and maintain weight loss. Okay. Across all the studies. So let's just name a few of the weight loss programs that we hear about out there. Okay. We've got the keto, which was originally designed for treating epilepsy. Okay. We have gluten-free diets, which was originally designed to treat celiac disease and now is starting to be designed to help with people with autoimmune disorders. We have the South Beach diet, which focuses on very high protein, low carb. We have the Mediterranean diet, right? Whole foods, plants, vegetables, healthy fats, right? We have the vegan, okay, which means they will not eat anything coming from an animal, including dairy or eggs. And we also have vegetarian, which means no food products that came from animals. We have dairy free. I mean, there's so many, and I know I am leaving out quite a bit. Okay. The point with all of these diet trends that we see out there, okay, you need to find the diet that's going to work for your body. And again, the way to do this correctly is to do it under the guidance of a doctor or a dietitian. We're going to talk a little bit more about the people who can help you with this. And the other thing I want to mention is the diet that helps you lose weight is not necessarily the diet you use to maintain your weight. Okay. And this is something that people really need to talk about with their practitioners. When you are going in for a weight loss program, you need to explain to your practitioners, this is what I like to eat in general. This is how I like to eat. What will be the diet that will allow me to eat as many of the foods that I like to eat? Because that's going to be the diet you're going to stick with. And then what is going to be the maintenance part of the diet afterwards, right? It is not sustainable to stay on some of these diets life. It's not. It's not. Okay. Short term for helping with weight loss and depending on what's going on with your health. Yes. Long term, no, with the exception of one. Can you take a guess as to which is the diet voted most sustainable and best healthy for humans in general?
I have no idea.
Well, you named it.
Oh, the Mediterranean diet. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I like that. Okay.
So let's see if we got some more comments coming in here. Okay, so Paul says we have a very efficient fat storing process coded in our DNA as we adapted from the hunter-gatherer days when we either had plenty to eat or not, feast or famine. Yes, and our bodies are still reacting like this. Okay, so guys, when it comes to nutrition, here's the best tips that I can give you, and this can apply to everyone. Very rarely can you say that about this. Shopping from the outer part of the grocery store. Okay, have you guys heard that yet? Has anybody heard that? That's kind of my favorite like saying right there. If you think about the outside part of your grocery store, what do you have? You have your fresh produce. You have your healthier animal products. So you have your organic meats, organic chicken, good fresh fish, right? You have the one ingredient foods, right? So basically it's one ingredient and you can actually pronounce it, right? In the middle of your grocery store, that's where you have all the processed foods, right? And I don't care which diet plan you're on, there is no diet plan that tells you that processed food is okay and that it's going to be healthy and it's going to help you with your weight loss. Okay. So next time you go to the grocery store, look at your cart. Where did the majority of your groceries come from? And it's kind of a wake-up call. It's kind of a wake-up call, right?
It's really good information.
Yeah. And I try even with myself, I look at the grocery cart and I go, you know what, let me go put this item. It's not to say you don't eat processed food. I enjoy my Oreo cookies, man. I got a box sitting at home. But if you're looking at overhauling your nutrition, you got to take a hard look at this. Okay. Making your own food. I love to cook. So for me, it's very easy to follow this part, right? But let's just talk an easy number. So the other day, my kids said they wanted breakfast sandwiches. They love like the sausage, egg, and biscuit, which again, some people would argue, well, that's not healthy breakfast for your kids. And I said, let me try an experiment. So I bought the Jimmy Dean, right? Ready-made breakfast sandwich, biscuit, and it's like 500 to 600 calories for one of those biscuits. And I said, you know what? Let me just make it. So I made my own biscuit. It took me 10 minutes to make the biscuits fresh, like from scratch. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Fresh Southern biscuits. I bought a leaner sausage. I bought good quality eggs and I bought a nice quality cheese. And they came out to 150 calories each. And they tasted like my kids were snarfing them down. So I wasn't even using like super healthy plant-based. Like, no, this was biscuits, Southern style biscuits, but just the fact that I was making it at home. So in my biscuits, it was 3 ingredients versus buying biscuits from the store that have like 20 ingredients that you can't pronounce. Right? So what I'm saying is, I guess you can still enjoy the foods that you like and incorporate them into the diet that you're following, making it yourself. Hang on. You start talking, I'm going to start reading some of these comments. So
when I been the store and the checkout counter, putting all your groceries up there and somebody's behind you looking at all the crap that you just but I hate that stuff. Let me put some healthy stuff on.
Yeah.
Nah, I've done the judging myself too. They're really gonna eat that. Oh, that's disgusting.
No, but guys, I mean, you can enjoy the foods. And again, it's the whole point is you want to put yourself in a position where your metabolism is healthy. That's something that I've learned in recent years, just in my own personal journey, is making sure my thyroid was healthy, making sure that I'm metabolically healthy. And that way I can enjoy some of the stuff that I do like to eat. I can enjoy the donuts. I can enjoy my slice of pizza. Okay. I just know how to manage it. Here's a very good point. So Felicia says, I need to start calorie counting again. So not a fan. Yes, it did. Yes. So one of the things, and again, Felicia, this is where, yes, the calories in versus calories out, it is a measuring tool, but it may not necessarily be where you need to focus, right? It may be that you're not taking in enough calories, right? That you're not nourishing your body enough. And this is, again, see your dietitian. This is where they can really help you see what is going on. So let's talk. Wait, which see?
Anita.
Oh, yeah. I do like that.
Yeah, My Fitness Pal is a great app. I use My Fitness Pal. I have used My Fitness Pal for quite a number of years. I have a nephew who lost over 150 pounds in his weight loss journey. He has used My Fitness Pal for about a good 10 years. Every single day he logs into My Fitness Pal. And you can have friends that you can join with you, and you can keep each other accountable during your journey. But it's a really good way to keep track of your calories. I'm sorry, the phone is going crazy. It's a really good way to keep track of your calories, and if you want to insert like all of your fitness goals, activity levels, all that kind of stuff, keep track of that as well. And most importantly is the accountability that your friends can help you with your journey.
So Felicia, take a look at that. I use the MyFitnessPal myself. I usually don't look so much at the calories. I look at the breakdown of my calories. And looking at macros. So macros are your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. And for me, especially since I'm running, I need to have more calories. Okay. And I need to have good quality calories, right? And that includes carbs, which is another thing that's been simplified today. But that's a whole nother talk for later. I think probably because you were using closely. So let's talk about the second part. So we've talked about nutrition. Now the second part about weight loss and weight management, and that's exercise, guys. And that's where I can really speak, right? I'm allowed to speak more on that one, right? So the basic two tenets of exercise when it comes to fitness, weight loss, and weight management is cardiopulmonary and weight training. Those are the two big groups right there. And if you think about it, cardiopulmonary is weight training because you're doing weight training for your cardiac, right? And cardiopulmonary exercise, the general recommendation, again, general, I think it's American Heart Association recommendation is 3 to 4 times a week, 30 minutes a day. That's a starting point. Again, this is where you need to individualize your plan. There are some of you that cannot do 30 minutes a day or at one time just yet, and you need to start and dial back a little bit. And there are some of you where 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week is not enough. Like for me, totally not enough, right? And I need to increase it. But that's the general recommendation, right? And this can be walking, running, swimming, Pilates is another one, even though that's also incorporating strength training. Bicycling, those of you who are in the wheelchair, using the wheelchair to move around. Anything that gets your heart rate going is cardio exercise. And I've had to get real creative with some of my patients, especially some of my patients who are on my bilateral AKs that are not necessarily using prosthetic devices or they aren't there yet. And we have to get creative in how we teach them how to do cardiopulmonary exercise. Yes? Okay.
Something
Second,
simple.
Yeah.
Just walking daily. I mean, if you can stay consistent with your cardio exercise, I mean, you'll see a significant reduction in your weight. I think if your consistency is there, just walk. Motion is medicine, right?
Yep.
And if you can walk, I mean, you'll lose the weight.
Yeah. And this is something I'm like, it's very underestimated in this world is the walking side. Van Gregory says, did you say metabolism fluctuates day to day, week to week, month to month? Yes. Okay.
Right back.
He did it again. He did it again. Man, I'm gonna get him. I know he's been hydrating a lot, so he's gonna be right back. He's a little boy's room. Okay, so when it comes to metabolism fluctuating, and again, Ben Gregory, this is where I am not a doctor, I'm not an endocrinologist. Does it fluctuate? Yes. How often it fluctuates, I think it's individual to each person. I think for women, we're going to see more fluctuations compared to men, again, because of the hormonal component. People who have thyroid disorders, I have a thyroid disorder. So I know my metabolism can fluctuate more than someone who does not have a thyroid disorder. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the exercise in terms of weight training. And guys, here's another Cosi poll. How many of you prefer to do cardio versus weight training? Put that in the comment section. I want to know. And I'll say it. I don't like weight training. And I know considering that I'm a physical therapist, that's really, really strange to hear that from me, but I don't. I love to run. I will run till the cows come home. But if I have to do weight training, it is not what I like to do. And I have to really, really force myself to do it. So let's see. Rob says he prefers cardio. Felicia says cardio. Brian says cardio. Everybody says cardio. So it just sounds like, right? And there's some people that I have that they're the opposite. They love to do weight training and heaven forbid they have to run a mile. They do not want to do that. Okay. So one part of it is acknowledging this, right? What kind of a person are you, right? Do you prefer cardio? Do you prefer weight training? And then how can you customize your fitness plan to perhaps strengthen the side that you need more strength on, right? But then also creating a plan that you will stick with. Paul says not to be negative, but the most improvement for walkers is going to be among the people who are very sedentary and eventually do more. Yes, absolutely. So again, for folks who are not necessarily up to doing 30 minutes of moderate cardio 3 to 4 times a week, start with the walking. Start with the walking. And with my amputees, especially there, right? All right, so let's talk. Oh, we got a giveaway. Laura, can you post please the link to TikTok? I've never done a TikTok giveaway. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on the dinosaur in that regard. But we do have kind of a fun giveaway from the TikTok. So guys, for this giveaway, we have the Bluebelt swag and we've got Lululemon water flask, non-leak. I mean, this thing does not leak. I put it through the gauntlet. So guys, Laura's going to post. There it is. Thank you, Laura. And actually, let me put it for my YouTube folks. I just realized I need to do that as well. So let me post that link. Okay, so the link that Laura and I posted is for TikTok. And it's a fun TikTok that we did at the NPT Coalition Conference. So watch the link. It's the pinned TikTok on College Park. Follow College Park on TikTok if you're on TikTok. And then tell me, who am I saying hello to in that TikTok reel? Put it in there. I'm almost laughing because it was a really funny reel. It was kind of fun to do. All right. So guys, let's get back to it. So when it comes to weight training, okay, why do we want to do weight training? Besides the fact that we all like to look nice and buff and cut, right? It makes for strong amputees. Guys, those of you who watch my show, this should be a no-brainer for you. The stronger your muscles are, the better you will be as an amputee. The better walker you will be, the better more efficient you will be with your walk, okay? It's protecting the joints, right? Especially those of you who are getting arthritis, right? Those cortisone shots, not going to last you very long. You strengthen those muscles around those joints, going to help you a lot more. Yeah.
Less lower back issues.
Absolutely. And then the other thing is helping with glucose metabolism, right? So you guys remember when we were talking about pre-diabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, right? Having this muscle training improves glucose metabolism, right? So those of you who are my diabetics out there. All right. All right, guys, so start putting those answers in there so we can pick a winner. Who am I saying hello to in the TikTok reel? So again, the general recommendation when it comes to weight training is to do 1 to 2 times a week muscle. Okay, so some people like to split it up into arms and legs. They'll do their arms and core once or twice a week and legs once or twice a week. Me, since I hate weight training and I really have to, I do a full body workout and I do it twice a week. And guys, it doesn't have to involve heavy weights. It doesn't have to involve going to the gym even. Okay, can I plug my program? Is it going to plug? All right, help me plug the program. All right, so we've got a program here, guys. It's the program that I designed. It's meant to be done from your home. Like, you don't need fancy gym equipment. A lot of the exercises that we do in this book and in my video exercise program is meant to be done with body weight. It's actually the program that I use for my own running, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put the website for it here. And we're going to do an extra special giveaway. And this is going to be for my quick draw McGraws. There's the link for the Strong Body program. 150 video exercises for AKs and BKs, arms, legs, core strengthening, balance, and flexibility. For the first 3 people who post Strong Body, I will give them a free subscription to the video exercise program. So the first 3 people to put in Strong Body in the comment section, they will get a free annual subscription. Felicia says she finally enrolled. Good. There we go. So Anita's our first winner. Come on, guys. Rob, you're going to get, Rob, you're winning big today. That's awesome. So Anita, Rob, I'm writing these names down. Come on, guys.
Sherry.
Free and Sherry. All right. Those are my first 3 winners. So just type this in. All right. So Anita, Rob, and Sherry, I want you to email me, please, to that email. And that way I can set you up with a free annual account to the video exercise program. And guys, I would strongly encourage you to look at the book as well. Full color, full descriptions, stuff you can do from home. Yes?
So, and if I can say one more thing to your viewers, a lot of times I went to the gym to work out on a specific body part or do a whole body exercise or whatever. And they had equipment there that I had no idea how to use properly. So you get into Cosi's Strong Body program, she's going to walk you through all the different exercises that she suggests and how to do them properly. So this is a win-win. This is like so very valuable for us as amputees when we want to increase our overall strength, or to pursue our fitness goals. So congratulations to Shari and Rob and Anita and everybody else who has signed up for Cosi's Strong Body Fitness Program.
Okay, and I just got back from Laura. So Brian Bishop, you are the TikTok winner. It was correct. We did a Hi Barbie reel.
Oh yes.
At the Amputee Coalition conference, and that was just a fun reel to do.
I was watching. I was like,
yeah,
it's the Hyde Park.
It's the Hyde Barbie. Yeah, it's the Hyde Barbie. All right. So Brian, you saw my email up there. Brian, I know you know my email. Send me your address and information so we can send you the swag bag. And then I'm going to have Laura post up one more time the email address and the email sign up, because that's going to be our last giveaway. And I want to give you guys one more chance to do that. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and click. Y'all know I love my giveaways and twice on Sunday, man. I love free stuff. I got 4 kids. Whenever we can do free giveaways, I love doing that. So guys, last giveaway, it's right there. Your last chance to sign up for the College Park Rebuilt email. Even if you've already signed up, do it again. You're showing support for Reggie and College Park Industries. So let's get started with where do we begin, right? We've given you guys a lot of information about the whys behind weight gain, the differences between men and women, how to do the weight loss, between the balance between nutrition and exercise. So then the question is, and this is where I hope a lot of you are going, where do I start? Okay, I'm hoping that this is kind of motivating you for this. Okay. It starts with finding the root cause. Okay, and this is my philosophy, even when I'm working with amputees and teaching the gait cycle. Where is your problem in gait coming from? What is the root cause of the problem in your gait? If you're just touching upon the symptoms, you're not addressing the root cause. Okay, is it because a simple matter of you're eating with way too many calories and you need to cut down on the calories and move them on, right? And we're going to find more of that with our male population. Okay, female population, sometimes it gets a little more complicated. Is there an underlying metabolic disorder? Is there a hormonal disbalance? How is your gut doing? We're starting to find a lot now on how a lot of our nutrition and our general health starts in the gut, having a healthy gut, right? So working with your practitioner, working with your doctor, dietitian, finding out why is it that you've gained weight. And a lot of times it's a little combination of self-defense, right? For many of you, yes, having a more sedentary lifestyle after amputation, that's going to be a huge contributor. But think back to before you had your amputation, again, especially my women, when you're experiencing weight gain, that you're just sitting there going, well, where is this coming from? Right? Find the root cause. Okay? Is your medical condition causing you to gain weight? The medications that you are taking, right? One of the medications that I take for preventing my breast cancer from coming back predisposes me to slowing my metabolism down. Right? So I have to work around that.
Yeah.
Yes? All right. So next thing is, who do you go to? Where do you start in terms of practitioners? Who do you think is the first person you would go to?
Therapist.
Close, but no cigar. When it comes to the exercise component of weight management, yes, physical therapist is the person I would definitely send my amputees to. Why? Because we're clinicians. We're clinicians. So we're not nutritionists or dietitians, but we know how the human body works from a clinical and medical standpoint. Your personal trainer doesn't. And I'm not against personal trainers who are using them. But when it comes to developing a fitness program that will take into account any health issues that you might have, any cardiac issues, problems with your blood pressure, problems with your diabetes, that's where you need the services of a physical therapist for the exercise prescription component of your weight loss. Okay. When it comes to the nutrition, when it comes to the root cause of finding your weight gain, right? The doctor. Start with the doctor, right? Talk to your doctor about this and talk to them about finding where this is coming from. The next thing I want to touch upon is nutritionist versus dietitian. How many of you know the difference between nutritionist and dietitian? And this is something I recently learned myself. The difference. Big difference too. And it's something that in pop culture and society, we kind of interchange both titles. Van Gregory says, I lose weight, but from where? Certainly not from my consistently fat belly.
Trying to think about the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian.
And we throw those two terms around a lot and freely in journals and in articles and everything that we read. There's a difference, right? And it's very quiet right now on the chat box. Are people Googling the answer? Don't Google the answer. That's cheating.
Dietitian. Would a dietitian be someone who works with you specifically if you have a specific disorder or medical issue that you need to work around? They put you on a specific diet that gives you the best opportunity to recover or face your challenges. And then the nutritionist I'm gonna, yeah,
Yeah.
give up.
So pretty much on the nose. A dietitian is a licensed practitioner. Licensed practitioner. A dietitian either has a bachelor's, a 4-year degree of bachelor's, or master's degree in prescribing medical nutrition plans. Okay. They can provide counsel on medical conditions and how it relates to nutrition. To be a nutritionist, there is no license involved. There is no federally regulated licensure or any kind of certification so basically anybody can hang a shingle and call themselves a nutritionist. Right? And we see that a lot. Now, is it to say that there are people who are claiming to be nutritionists out there that don't know what they're doing? I've seen quite a few. But my point to you is do your homework. Do your due diligence. My first choice, go with the licensed registered dietitian because they are a healthcare professional. Right? And especially those of you who lost your limb due to vascular disease. Those of you who have kidney disease, like one of my viewers here today said that he's a kidney transplant patient. You really need to see a dietitian, not a nutritionist, because they can counsel you from a medical standpoint, right? Right. So Paul says official title is RD, registered dietitian. So Felicia says, I would think dietitian for weight loss and nutritionist for overall health. Here's an analogy, and I just thought of this right now. Going to see a registered dietitian for a nutrition program is like going to see your physical therapist for your exercise program. Going to see someone who calls himself a nutritionist is kind of like going to see the personal trainer. Is it a bad thing? Depends on the person. And it's up to you to do the homework. Me personally, I'm always going to go with the person who did formalized education and has a license behind their name. That's my personal bias, right? The other thing I do want to mention about, again, because we're hearing a lot about this in pop culture right now, is functional medicine. Functional medicine. How many of you guys have heard about functional medicine practitioners? Have you guys heard about that? I know I'm seeing it all over. Have you heard about functional medicine practitioners? Okay. So this is kind of something that's come out, I'd say, in the recent, past couple of decades, and it's really starting to get noticed. So that's kind of want to briefly touch upon it. And I took my information from the Institute for Functional Medicine. And the reason why I chose Institute for Functional Medicine is because they are an accredited program. They are accredited by the same company that accredits the education for doctors that doctors take. Okay, so that's why I am going by what the Institute of Functional Medicine has on their website. And basically, a functional medicine practitioner is someone who focuses on the root cause of disease. Right? So a lot of times, right, you go to the doctor, you say, Doc, I got this going on, and they prescribe a medication. Okay, is it working and is it necessary? Yes, I am not against that. But what I like about functional medicine practitioners is they're trying to look a little bit deep. They're trying to say, okay, what is the root cause of what's going on? What is causing your glucose levels to be elevated? Is it because you have insulin resistance? Is it because you're not making enough insulin? Is there a way we can help you track that with holistic ways? Diet modification, exercise. How can we work together with the medications that you are being prescribed? Okay. Now, the Institute of Functional Medicine will say that there's a large variety of practitioners that can become practitioners. A physical therapist, an MD, RN can become practitioners and they undergo certification. Right. So Anita says they seem to be popping up like dandelions in the summertime. Yes. Right. So, guys, as with everything else, okay, if you are thinking about going to see a functional medicine practitioner, do your homework. Where did they receive their certifications? Are they going to be communicating with your doctor? Okay, very important. A lot of these diet plans that we see nowadays, they recommend a lot of supplementation, which a lot of these supplements are not FDA regulated. So you need to be constantly communicating with your doctor to make sure that these are not interfering with your medications. Okay, so you know that the relying theme here is do your due diligence, do your research. Know who it is that you're going to for helping you with this weight loss and weight management. Yes? All right, Laura, can you please announce who is going to be our email winner? Oh, she already announced it. Okay, so Linda, Linda Hewitt, congratulations. You are email sign up winner. So Linda, please send me your email. And guys, those of you who are my winners today, let me know if you would like a white here or a black water flask. So those of you who were my winners today, let me know which one you would like in your email that you sent to me along with your address. And College Park will be sending out your swag for you. Okay, so Anita says, I was seeing a functional medicine practitioner. I was really happy until she wanted me to take a lot of supplements. And again, guys, just because they're a functional medicine practitioner doesn't mean you don't need to ask your questions. Ask your questions, and making sure that that functional medicine practitioner knows what other medications that you are on and if it's interfering with those medications. You are your own best advocate, and it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to keep track of all these things, right? All right, so I'm going to leave you with one last thing, right? When it comes to weight loss and management, whatever plan you decide to take and choose, if it is not a challenge for you to follow, and if it does not take time for you to accomplish your goal, it's probably not the right plan. Right? I didn't phrase that. I don't know if I phrased that very gracefully, but basically, if it's a quick fix, okay, and it's not requiring you a lot of effort and discipline to do, it's probably not the right plan. Because let's face it, weight loss and management is not easy to do. It does require discipline. It does require a lot of motivation to do, right? Yeah. Otherwise, we'd all be walking around looking like, buff bodybuilders, and it wouldn't be hard for us to do. So it is not easy to do. And I don't sugarcoat things on the show, right? So hopefully today's show will kind of motivate some of you to maybe to get to that program. Okay. And guys, like I said, that's hilarious. Sorry, I just got distracted by one of the comments that somebody put in there. And Paul said it's a lifelong journey. Paul said it's a lifelong journey, and he's absolutely right, guys. It does require a lot of work, a lot of discipline. But again, the benefits and the outcomes of this improve life. Yes? Sherry says, I learned a lot today. Thank you for doing these things. I appreciate you guys for being on here. And again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor, but I can hopefully at least point you in the right direction. So if any of you have questions about this, go ahead and just feel free to email me, and I will try to point you in the right direction. So I think,
and if anybody has any questions, facing some of the issues that we have as amputees, please inbox me. You can find me on all things social. We want to thank everybody here at Lululemon that has graciously accommodated us. We got here this morning at 9 a.m. and we walked the store and we got some cool swag, and they've been just so inviting for myself and for Cosi, and they always have been. So we encourage you to seek out some of your Lululemon stores and wherever you live, because they really have some really great products here. And as always, we got to thank College Park Industries for sending me here. For College Park, we're sponsoring Cosi Talks for as long as College Park has been sponsoring Cosi Talks, and also for the work that they do in our community, because we really do some great work in supporting the amputee community. And that's, like I said at the beginning of the show, whatever prosthetic component that you're using, be it a foot, a knee, liners, whatever, manufacturer. There's some great manufacturers out there. There's some great prosthetic components out there. Please do your research and make sure that they are supporting our community. It makes a huge difference.
Huge difference.
As always, thank you, Cosi.
You guys. I'm putting up there once again, the Rebuilt College Eval Foot program is something that I love, because again, it's showing you guys all of your options. This is actually my last sponsored talk for 2023. And it always feels weird to say that, because I'm just like, but I will be here in 2024, and I will be here through the end of the year doing general Q&A. But I do want to take this opportunity to thank all of my sponsors. I cannot do this show without your support. And guys, those of you out there watching, this show is for you. Keep letting me know what it is that you want to hear about. I'll be sending out a survey through my email, through my texting program, and on my social media. Please take the time to fill out this survey, because it lets me know what you want to hear about. It lets my sponsors know what you want to hear about. And this show ultimately is for you. And last thing I'm going to leave you with, guys, check out the links that I posted for Lululemon and College Park above. Again, we need to show support back to the businesses that support this show. Paul, coming from you, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie, again. She's been my behind the scenes gal from Lululemon for this wonderful Hyde Park team that I Yes. So guys, this was a wonderful show. Reggie, thank you for flying down, because I know this is time from your life to come and be here.
My job. Part of my job description.
We appreciate it. So guys, with that, there will not be a show tonight. No show tonight. No show tonight, guys. Share this show out. There are many of you that were not able to come today because you have doctor's appointments and you have to work during the daytime at this hour. So if you all could please start sharing this show to your support groups. Again, helps me spread the word, helps me keep the show going. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go treat this man to lunch. Healthy lunch.
Absolutely.
Let's do healthy lunch today. We're going to do that today. All right, guys, I will see you next week at the regular bat time, same bat channel. And as always, thank you for letting me be a part of your lives this day today. Thanks, guys.
Adios.